Hey all, a couple of months back I did a how-to on how I was making some skulls out of monster clay for one of the various projects I was doing. And in the middle of that vlog I recorded a segment on how I made my monster clay. Everything from mixing the paste to combining the cellulose insulation to it and what have you. Since then, both Ghoulish Cop and Halloweenville have posted up various recipes for doing monster clay using different techniques, different things, you know, for the paper, whether it's toilet paper, newspaper, what have you. You know, all the recipes have been different. And I got to thinking it might be a good idea if I went back to that original video I made that had the recipe in it and made the recipe its own vlog. You know, that way you guys can find the recipe a little bit easier. So the footage you are about to see was recorded back in late November of 2011. I figured I'd put it up as its own little vlog, so it's easier for you to find. So here's a look at it. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help out any way I can. And I would also highly suggest checking out also Halloweenville and Ghoulish Cop to view their recipes. Ghoulish Cop also has a couple of videos up on his channel on how to make homemade glue and several other things which really come in handy for the monster clay. You know, I hope you enjoy, and like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Hey guys, I wanted to show you the process for making the paper clay paste that I'm using in my latest project. It's a combination of 5 different things all together. We use, the recipe calls for 6 cups of flour, which I have pre-measured out in the bowl already. We need 1 cup of white glue, which I bought by the gallon jug. Liquid cornstarch. Actually go like that way, you don't need to see the label. Liquid cornstarch. On that, I made that. I found a recipe online to make it at home. I checked several craft stores and whatever, they had it for the gallon jug. It was like $3 to $4 for a gallon jug of it. I found you could go down to the grocery store and buy powdered cornstarch for like $2 and just make it up yourself. And a box of cornstarch will do about 5 or 6 gallons for like $2. You know, it's just time consuming having to make it. The other ingredient is joint compound, which I got down at Lowe's, which was about $13. The white glue was also about $13. The other ingredient for this is water. So that's what we're going to be drawing now, and the water you want to use is warm tap water with this. Warm. Of course, what's warm to me and what's warm to you might be a bit differently. Anyway, the process for the mixture is you take 6 cups of flour and then add 1 cup of white glue. And for any of those worried about messes and stains and whatever, all the ingredients here are water soluble. You know, they clean up with water. You know, if you spill paste on your shirt or pants or whatever, on fabric of any kind, as long as you get into the water before it sets up, it'll come right out. Once it dries, I don't know about. I've been trying to get things washed right off the bat. But anyway, there's 1 cup of glue. And then 1 cup. And I always mix this up. I always do the glue first because the glue coats the cup. And I can put the liquid cornstarch in there, stir it around, and it gets the extra glue out. Anyway, almost 1 cup's worth. go. 1 cup of liquid cornstarch. Joint compound does not get added until later. That's the very last step you do. Right now you want to get your paste mixed up. And then I'm going to pour in just part of this water. It's a 4 cup measuring cup. I'm only going to pour in part of it. You won't need all of it. And then you can use an electric hand mixer. And like I was saying, everything is water soluble. So when you're done, you can rinse out your bowl, your mixers and stuff, and you shouldn't have a problem. Get this all mixed up here. The consistency that you're going for is you want a watered down, you want it to be the thickness of a weak pancake batter, kind of watered down. You just have to keep adding warm tap water and keep mixing until you get to that consistency and all the lumps are gone. You definitely want all the lumps gone out of this. Right now it's the consistency of cake batter. I'm being stared at. My wife's going to watch me. She thinks I'm a fool for doing this. Actually, I should have her doing this, but she's the baker in the household. She knows more about mixing this type of stuff up than I do. And she probably would come in and do it as long as I turn the camera on. As you can see, it's still a little thick. A little bit more water. Now, when you're doing this, like I said, it needs to be a thin pancake batter. You don't want it overly thick. So you're going to have to mess with it on your own to get the desired thickness, that you want. And I should mention the recipe I am using to make this paper paste. The paper clay. I got it off of Cellulose.com. This is actually his recipe that I got. If there's anyone interested in a copy of the recipe, let me know. Either in the comment section down below the video, and I can email it over to you along as well as the recipe to make homemade liquid starch, which is extremely easy and really, really quick. So, okay. Right now, I don't know if you can see it, but we got about the right consistency. Yeah, right consistency. And as you can see, I splattered a whole bit. So, anyway, that's stage 1. The next step is we need to add joint compound to the mixture, and the recipe up on Stellacom.com said 1 cup of joint compound for every 6 cups of paste. The amount of flour and everything, I'm finding it comes up to about 8 to 9 cups of paste altogether, and I'm actually putting in a little bit more joint compound than what the recipe calls for. I like the thickness of it that way, and it seems to work a lot better. So I'm going to be, at least for what I'm doing with it. So what I'm going to be doing is adding about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of joint compound to the paste mixture. There's 1 cup. get the cup cleaned off. Here's the joint compound, and it's just a little bit more than half a cup. Okay, and that to the sink, and that can be washed up. Now we got the joint compound in. It's just a matter of mixing it again. And keep mixing it until all the lumps are out. The joint compound will actually thicken it up a little bit. Okay, joint compound's all mixed up. Now, what I do at this stage of it, because I don't want to mix into this bowl, and I don't know if you guys notice the bowl or not. That's actually our candy dish from the Haunted Tins. It's the only bowl big enough because I wanted to make up a super duper batch. And I was a little nervous about using the wife's good mixing bowls. But anyway, I just put a small bucket up here. What I'm using the bucket for is my mixing. The paper clay I'm making is using cellulose insulation, which I'll show you in a little bit, added to this mixture to make a clay. So I don't mix it up in the bowl. I just pour this into the bucket and then mix everything up in the bucket. So now you can see here the thickness of it. It is, once you add the joint compound, it's pretty much the thickness of a good cake batter, which is just about perfect. So anyway, that's all there is to the paste, and as you can see, it didn't take too long to make the paste up. I'm going to sit there and let that drip a little bit. So anyway, that's how you make paper clay paste. Okay guys, we're back. Just got done doing the paste. Showed you the recipe. Like I said upstairs, if anyone would like the recipe either for the paste or for the recipe for making your own liquid starch, please make a comment down below. You know, I gotta follow Troy and Steve. They're always pointing when they want you to comment or subscribe or what have you. But you comment down below, and I'll type up a copy of it for you and send it over to you. As you saw upstairs, it's not really hard to make. Other than all the ingredients I listed upstairs, another thing I highly recommend for this project is going down and buying yourself a box of gloves, okay, the disposable type. If you don't, your hands are going to get awfully gooey and awfully sticky very quick. So I'm going to get these gloves on. We have our paste here in our mixing bowl. What we are using to make the paper clay is paper, or actually it's cellulose. What it is, as you can see here, is cellulose insulation I bought down at our lumber yard, and it's basically shredded paper. All sorts of shredded paper, notebooks, newspapers, what have you. And what you want to do is just start adding cellulose insulation to your container that holds the paste. And it takes a little bit of time. And by the way, the bags the cellulose comes in, so it's Cellulose Insulation. It's a 25-pound bag. When I went down, I wasn't sure how far a bag was going to go. So I bought 3 bags of the stuff. I've made up 5 different batches so far, you know, trying different recipes, what have you. I haven't even gone through a quarter of a bag yet. You know, this stuff goes a long way. Okay, now what I'm doing is, if you notice, I've got one hand outside the bucket, one hand inside the bucket doing the mixing. Reason for that is I don't want to get the paste into the bag of cellulose. So I'll use this hand for adding and use this hand here for doing the mixing. And it does take a little bit to get this mixed up. You need to get mixed up thoroughly. Just keep adding cellulose insulation to the mix of paste until you get nice, stiff, workable concoction. I like it. I want it to be kind of like clay. You know, you just keep mixing until you get that clay consistency. You know, like the clay you used to mess with, not Play-Doh, but the orange clay you used to play with in school. You know, make ashtrays and stuff out of. Art projects, that's about what you want. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this down on the floor because it's kind of hard to mix up on the table here, so it's going to be out of view for a moment. I'm just going to sit here and keep adding cellulose insulation to the mix until I get the consistency I want. Another thing too, as powdery as this insulation is, you might want to wear a dust mask during this stage of it, so you're not doing like I'm doing right now, breathing in all the fumes. You know, especially if you've got asthma or something like that. So make sure to pick up a dust mask. I'm not wearing a dust mask now because I'm talking into the camera, and normally I don't have my head right over it like this either. And keep mixing. Make sure you get into all the corners real good, you know, depending on what type of container you're mixing it in. I do suggest using buckets like this, you know, instead of good bowls and stuff. You know, just in case things get knocked over, you drop them or what have you. Okay, there we go. This is what you end up with. It's what your paper clay will look like. And so this batch is a very stiff mix. So get that out of the way.